Alright. BobalosRex here. And I've already kind of talked about Nightfall. So in this, I'm going to kind of talk about what I think Nightfall is. And then what two things it can set up. The thing some people think, the thing me and more others are pulling back to. You already know where I've been pulling back and pulling towards more of a world core thing for a while now versus a Koresh Void 11.2. We're talking about 11.2 kind of. So let's talk about Nightfall. If you've done the Undermine campaign now, and this is the main thing, we can finally talk about what happened in the Undermine campaign that is 100% leading to Nightfall. Xal'atath and the Ethereals have the Dark Heart again. It's fixed. It's back. So what does she do? What do we do? Like, realistically, let's try to piece this out. Let's try to be in the mindset of you're the villain. I now have my device. Is her play come right back here and do this thing again? Right? Because the idea the first time, right, is she came here, did this while we were dealing with spiders. So, and then that didn't work. So now is the play, she gets the thing from Gallywix. While we're distracted with Gallywix, she goes again towards this thing? Is that the play? I do think she's going to do something with this crystal. Clearly, this crystal and Nightfall all come into play here. But I think we're going to sort it out. This is almost like perfect timing. I do think we're going to sort it out, right? And I almost think Nightfall will be more of a Xal'atath comes here and does the thing that she was trying to do. Either finishes the cast, but then that thing is basically this turns purple perma, right? That would be something we got to deal with. Corbis depths, right? I feel like that would have to be something we deal with in that patch, right? But I think what she does with the Dark Heart in Nightfall leads to Midnight. And in my opinion, when she does that, this turns to Void, we stop it, bada boom. It's a rinse and repeat. It's like, lady, you just did this. And it's like, okay. Yeah, I did. There is a little rehash there. But if we're not just stuck in perma purple and then into Midnight more purple, then we wouldn't go to Koresh. Otherwise, Nightfall is, boom, she comes here, this turns purple, we get horrific visions, and then in 11.2, this is still Void, this voids us through to a place, because we have seen this teleport. This can teleport us. Because it kind of teleported them. But, okay. So we're sitting here with purple Beladar the whole time. Is Beladar's shadow just like a constant spawn? So that would be game changing right here. Then that could work. The Nightfalls keep happening. And then it's basically like, oh no, now I see it. So this would be the basic way. Nightfall happens. We get these Nightfalls. 11.2, we go into the crystal, but not into the crystal. Like, I don't think we're going into the crystal. the crystal is means to teleport us somewhere else. But this would be assuming this is like a space crystal, which we'll talk more about it. So I'm just playing the first timeline, right? We already, to me, Nightfall is for certain. Xal'atath comes here, affects the crystal, sets it off, right? Sets off what she was gonna do in the first place, but not from here. I guess why we're dealing with Gallywix is played out as I think that is. I think they're just gonna do it, but do it quick. Do it like boom, like no slacking, no. We got people, we got crew. Just either why we're dealing with Gallywix or in an alternate location, or maybe she don't even gotta worry about that. It could just be like a finish a cast thing. Because if this has been progressively getting Shadow, then she just kind of have to set the tipping point. Now, if this is all related to Dementius in the first place, they could just have this turn void and it do that, and Nightfall. The thing we know for sure about Nightfall, and this is across the board, is the Nightfall comes before midnight. What happens in Nightfall 100% sets up midnight. I feel like this is obvious. It's going to be revealed like later this week. Easy thing. Nothing special there. We're going to get them activating this crystal. The horrific visions aren't going to be caused by N'Zoth, most likely. In this way, it would be through Dementius. So I'd imagine them being more Void specific versus Old God specific, which really works with my other theory versus the we go to Koresh theory. So, but I think this is going to be a thing in Nightfall either way. I think these Nightfall things are going to be more ethereal, less Old God-y. The horrific visions, I think, will have to either be local or in Silvermoon. Right? Which would be interesting. But I kind of maybe think the horrific visions may be around the Isle. Like, what if we had 4 different... I don't know. A horrific vision in Undermine would go hard. A horrific vision in Dornagal. Because if we remember what horrific visions were, and I don't think we're going back to the same 2, because you could do the same 2. Right? We're going to be farming echoes. Are we going to get a new cloak? Is Rathian going to show up? Yo. I didn't have that here, but when you think of heroic visions, you gotta... Are we doing mask runs again? You gotta think about that, you know? But we'll see more of Nightfall very soon, actually. This should have been a Nightfall video, honestly, but I'm going beyond, and I've already got it here. Because, like I said, I feel like we already know what Nightfall is. It's going to be horrific visions. It's going to be... I've already kind of done predictions videos for Nightfall, so it's kind of already there. And it's going to be in one of the cities. I've given some options. But we could maybe see the Nightfall events, because remember, we're getting the new event called Nightfall, new events, and I can see them as Void. Basically, what happens in Hollowfall now happens in like Ringing Depths and Ashkahet. I don't know if you could do it up top. I mean, you could, I guess, but it's just like, think like if we go back, right? Think of Dream Surges. Well, no, I guess this would be happening at the time of Time Rifts. I was thinking more... Nightfall sounds more like... Dream Surges, but now... Okay, so here's the Void. Here's how it plays out for the Void, right? Boom! Nightfall is the time rift. So the time rift, the Nightfall event happens. We do it here. We fight the Void. More Beladar spawns. Yada, yada, yada. That's the Nightfall event. Then... Oh my goodness. I can see it in my mind. Then we get Void Surges. Then we get the Void Surges, okay? Little Void Surges pop up in the zones. You gotta defeat the Ethereals at the Void Surges. Oh yeah, I gotta get them Void Surges. Oh, then it's into the Void, into the Crystal, go to Koresh, fight the raid. Oh, it's Dragonflight 2! Oh my goodness. Sorry, the music stopped. Dude, okay. So that is one way the expansion can play out. I don't know if y'all saw the vision of it that I did when I described it, but to me, it all fits, and it's scary. So, but it could be that. I'd be fine with that, honestly. It'd just be purple, purple, purple into the purple expansion. I love purple, but I feel like I'd be purpled out. But we'd have the little side stuff to do. Because then, we still have to get Haranir, right? So then in that version, okay, the Haranir zone pops up in like a 0.7, and then we help them, or they come to actually, Orwena goes back to her tribe, sees like, hey, these Nightfall events, this Void stuff, we have to participate, and then she brings them into the fold. It's something simple like that, right? To me, that feels a little too plain, but it could work. That would kind of fit the Dragonflight mold. Now, but that would fit my theory that Xal'atath is an ethereal, right? Early on, we all thought it was Koresh. We all thought we'd be going to Koresh. I remember doing the video where it's like, undermine ethereals, this, and that. And I would be right. But part of me is like, what kind of crazy stuff could we get, though? Right? Because don't get me wrong, what I just described, honestly, could be the safe bet. And honestly, again, if we go back to, remember when we had the ethereal weapons, this all lines up, right? Kaiveza comes back in the final raid. She's like, oh, round 2. So she's the Zymox again, right? He came in the first raid, and then he was in the third raid. So it's like, there would be so many things that would rhyme, like I mentioned with the Nightfall, the Void Surges, then basically into the Void instead of into the Emerald Dream. But then something happens to us there, we lose, and then they pop up in Midnight, and then we get Midnight, right? Yada, yada, yada. But now let's get to what I mainly wanted to talk about. My crazy theories, okay? So, I still think Nightfall is going to be the thing, right? I've already established what Nightfall is. Xal'atath comes over here, sets off the crystal. We have our Nightfall events and our horrific visions, maybe in the other zones, maybe in Silvermoon, maybe in Undermoon, right? But then, right, her setting off the crystal, or the crystal being set off by dementias, right? Because maybe she doesn't even have to set off the crystal's getting set off itself, right? We have this oncoming threat of Midnight. We can have the horrific visions still be a thing. We can have the Nightfall event still be a thing, because Dementius is coming in Midnight. Nightfall has already set the stage for Midnight. But that's for Midnight. Other stuff has to happen here, right? Think about this, right? Let me break it down. So, Olive Dorn has a siren out. Ringing Depths now has Gutterville, and we got Undermine, which is the 0.1 patch zone, so it gets a special thing. Nightfall's doing stuff up here. Doing stuff up over here in Hollowfall. Where do we have to go, right? I have thought of a way that we could theoretically come back to Khazalgar during the World Soul Saga, but I've said this before, and this makes the most sense to me. We have to finish the stuff that is in Khazalgar, right? That is in where we are at in this expansion. Okay? Stuff like Koresh, the Void Lands, the Life Lands, the this, the that, all that stuff, cool. Other planets, all that can be done anywhere. But what is right here, below Donegal, below the Coreway, below Ashkahet, below Hollowfall, below the Ringing Deeps? People keep talking, the water leads down there. The Black Blood leads down there. But what else is down there? The World Core. The World Core. That is the thing. We have to go to the World Core in this expansion. I will talk about how we could come back in a later expansion and it make more sense, but we got to go deeper. Okay? I think we can get a Root Lands. Maybe we get a Root Lands in Ashkahet off the little zone. Maybe we get a little something right here in the patch. But there is going to be something right here where my head is blocking on the map. Alright, we got Undermine over here. There's going to be something over here. Okay? We go into the Root Lands, and I think we go into the Deeps. Okay? The Root Lands could be a side thing, but if we look to what, literally look to what this 0.1 patch did. Gutterville to Undermine. I'll just put it here. Root Lands to the World Core. Okay? Now, let's get into more why we go to the World Core. Because I was really thinking, I was like, okay, why do we go to the World Core? Okay? Tyr and Arcades return, lead us deeper into Khazalgar. That'd be two big players coming to lead us deeper. Arcades, Tyr, all have history back here. The Earthen literally said, damn the Titans. Are any of them going to pull up? I think there is Titan stuff to do down there. And when I talk about who the big bads could be, we could talk more about that. Another player that could come in. In one of the Gallywix journals, he was talking about a guy he knows in the area, right? And it had me thinking, like, in Khazalgar, he knows someone. I was like, okay, so it's probably some goblin down here, right? So I guess the goblins may have already known about Khazalgar or something. I don't know. But then that had me like, something, hold up. Who could Gallywix be talking? If it's not just some goblin, is there some other guy? And then that led me to Iridikron, right? Gallywix is working with Zalateth. Would Gallywix have a line of communication like, yo, Rock Boy, what's up? You hate the Titans, man? Bro, I like money. How much you hate the Titans? How much are you willing to pay? Could he know Iridikron? Could Iridikron surprise pop up right at the tail end of this expansion, be like, oh, y'all followed me down here? Look what I found down here. Look at what the Titans are doing down here. And then him peace out. Because his goal could be turn us against the Titans, right? If you're Iridikron, right? You can't beat the Titans. Straight up. Anyone who thinks Iridikron can match the Titans, dumb as fuck. No, that's rude. Iridikron can't match the Titans power scale wise, right? Like, I was mean with that statement. So I'll take that back. But Iridikron can't fight the Titans directly. The power is too different. But what could he use? What has he seen? What has he heard that could fight the Titans? Really think about that. You. Us. Us. All Iridikron has to do in his mind to defeat the Titans is turn us against the Titans. He's literally reading the cards. He's like, okay, my sister fought these guys, died. Okay? Check. Like, as he was freed from here, dude, when he realized it, he was probably like, I almost ate them. That would have been fucked up. I would have fucked up if I would have eaten them. Because he sees us beat his sister. He's like, what the fuck? Next, he's like, okay, these people, we can't go easy on these people. They're going crazy. Because he's always been strategic. That's why I like him, right? Like, being hyped for Iridikron when I made the earlier statement, because I was a little hyperbolic with it. He's a cool character, and I think he can go toe-to-toe to the Titans, but not with his, like, current power level. And he wouldn't be using his power level. He's got to use strategy. Then he leads us, and Farak, and all that, to Zarlek, lets Sarkareth pop off, see us go in, boom, handle it. He's like, okay, these people, they cooking. Let's Farak do whatever. He's just chilling. What Iridikron does during that time is do this timey-wimey thing. He sees us with Chromie. He literally sees us with Chromie, and he gets stopped. He doesn't remember. He may remember that. Then, he doesn't get stopped. Does he remember he got stopped one time? Or to him, does he just like, yo, I steal Galakrond's essence? Then, if he's in the know, of course, he hears what Farak's doing. Farak's doing all that stuff. Bada boom. Viranoth turns on Farak. Iridikron has already fucked off at that point, pretty much. But he's probably listening, right? Farak does his thing. Sees us. Boom. Blasts Farak. At this point, Iridikron's gathering information. He's with Xal'atath. What is Xal'atath telling him? If I was Xal'atath, right? Okay, so Iridikron does the thing for Xal'atath. Xal'atath, in turn, would probably give Iridikron some info. Info that Iridikron would need. Because he just came back to a world, he's still learning, right? He's like, I've been gone for a while, but I know this planet, right? He knows the inner depths of the planet, right? He is, like, buffed by the elements. Mostly stronger than, like, Titan stuff. He's gonna use us. He's gonna hear about us. He's gonna hear about what happened with the sword, right? The sword. He's gonna be like, yo, how did that happen? And who stopped that, right? He'd be like, one, who stabbed the planet? Who stopped whoever stabbed the planet from breaking the whole thing? Because they're like, okay, the planet was stabbed. How was the planet not destroyed by whatever stabbed it, right? Who stopped the thing that stabbed it? Then he'd learn about what we did there. Then he could be like, yo, they went where next? Timelines? Shadowlands? Okay. Very clear to him, he'd be like, I know who I have to aim at the Titans. So Iridikron could lead us down here, see the World Core. You know, Brent already damned the Titans, so we go deeper. We see this prison, we see this World Core, we see what the Titans are doing. Maybe another failed experiment that Iridikron leads us to. Maybe we see the experiment on, like, the original Giants. Maybe we get spoilers that the Titans were, like, enslaving the the Titan Keepers and all that stuff was just from enslaved elementals. You know? So it's just a whole big thing. So we go to this World Core area, but what else could be in this area? Because we can't... That would solve, like, the raid issue. So we get the Haranir. We get Freya's Swarm. They help us, lead us deeper after Iridocron, maybe. But like I said, or he uses that. So we have the Iridocron plan was its own thing. So let me move over to the Harnier and the Freyswarm. So the Harnier or the Freyswarm could lead us deeper as well. We don't need Iridocron, we don't need Tier or Cades. But the Harnier or Freyswarm could lead us deeper to the World Core. We have this Orwena questline, which is literally, if we think back to BFA, Magni's B plot became the A plot. Orwena's B plot is going to become the A plot, in my opinion, because I'm getting BFA vibes in a way. But all these factors can take us to where? Now let's talk about the areas. Under Kazalgar, what's down here? We know the World Core is down there. We know about the shadow beneath Hollowfall, but I think that's more related to the water, and I do think we're going to see the water down there. We may see some more Black Blood area down there as well. Especially if we go with this Harnier thing, because in my case, what if we see the thing Orwena was trying to do is maybe the Harnier are getting corrupted, maybe the higher ups of the Harnier are getting corrupted by the Black Blood, by Xal'atath, and that's what Orwena's trying to fight. We saw her troops pull back. Maybe that's it. So it's another leader corrupted by the Black Blood. We go in there, we help our allies, and stop the zone. So it'd be leader corrupted by Black Blood, we help liberate. Leader corrupted by Black Blood, we liberate. Rootlands, leader corrupted by Black Blood, we liberate. It works. It works. It would all work. Really good. I am liking my Iridocron idea more. But I think going deeper, exploring that would be good. So that leads into the raid stuff I had here. Harnier, leader corrupted, yada yada yada. Corrupted Titan facility. And then yeah, the Iridocron. Maybe Iridocron breaks the world core. But then the midnight stuff happens. So we gotta deal with that. Because there's nothing. Iridocron breaks the world core and then like nothing happens. It's like, oh. Well, he did the thing. He did the thing. Uh-oh. The Titans are mad. They're gonna come back. But it's gonna take them time. So then we gotta deal with Midnight. And then in Last Titan, the thing that happened here comes back. Right? But I think of it more as he leads us there. He reveals something. He escapes. And then we resolve that. Then in a 0.5 and a 0.7, we start getting the Silver Moon, Midnight stuff. And we got to deal with that. And then later, after all that's dealt with, then we pick up the Iridocron stuff. And then that would make it more of a saga. Right? I'm also just going to go down, because during this, when I was writing this, I was like, who are the bad guys, right? Who are the bad guys? When I was writing my paper, I don't write these. So who are the bad guys? Titans. Some of them. Odin. And here's the thing. When I write these as bad guys, possible bad guys, right? Some of these players, we don't know. They could be an enemy, right? These are, who could theoretically be the boss? Because remember, we need a zone. And we need a raid, and we need a last boss, and the last boss has to be someone we know or have heard about. To me. We had the Titans. We got Odin. I don't think it's the Titans yet. We got Odin. Odin could pop up. Xal'atath and the Ethereals. Dementius. I think Dementius is later. Iridocron. Ashara? But we don't know she's bad. Like, to be fair, we don't know she's bad. She could have chilled out. She could have been like, yo, I'm just gonna watch out for my people. I ain't working with no old god anymore. Right? Because if N'Zoth's out of the picture, he's out of the picture. But then that means, is N'Zoth out of the picture? Are the old gods actually out? Is Xal'atath gaslighting us, being like, look, at all this old god blood, they must be dead. Meanwhile, one of the old gods like, I'm just really bloody. I'm fine though. Like, who knows? They can do anything. Other Titan Keepers. Then I thought of a really crazy idea and I wrote it here. What if the last boss of this expansion is Dorn? Not Dornick. Because Dornick could, like, I think it was a Bellular video. They were talking about how Dornick or someone was talking about how Dornick could be the son of Dorn, and there's a Dorn, and it's like, oh my god, what if the final boss is Dorn himself? Literally, it'd be the most unhyped, but like, oh, I mean, I guess we knew about it. Oh my goodness, his Isle. And it's like some Titan dude named Dorn. Like, sup, I'm Dorn. I'm the final raid boss. Like, what? We got the Arath the Emperor. I think he's a later. Yrel could be an enemy. People don't want it, but I think she could. I mean, she's clearly set up as an enemy. Random Haranir leader that's against Orwena enemy could be an enemy. 5th Old God. Titan Experiment 2. So that's kind of what led it to that. But as we see, we got 11.1.5 on the PTR right now, and a lot more is going to be revealed this week about Nightfall. Where do y'all think this is going to go? I know I've asked you like every week, but now with like some of my, I put out some more theories. Have any swayed you? What do you think of that Iridikron stuff? I'm real, like, me coming to the conclusion of Iridikron using us to fight the Titans, because I kind of just hit that. Like, I didn't plan to think about that, and then that, like, was so obvious to me. It's like, yo, he would use us to fight the Titans, right? That would be the trick. And as Brent said, damn the Titans. Anyways, that's enough lore ranting. I definitely think we gotta get the root lands in. We gotta get the core way, the world core in, and the core way fixed. But I'm telling you, we already know what Nightfall is. That's why I didn't even really talk about it here. Crystal going dark. That crystal going dark. And we get new horrific visions and shadow. It's either going to be Shadow Time Rifts, like, Nightfall is either Shadow Time Rifts, or it kind of sounds, if it's like a zone by zone thing, it kind of sounds like Dream Surges. Maybe it'll be World Quest related. Maybe I'll do a full video just on what Nightfall the event could be. But we all know what it's in reference to. And to me, the Nightfall into Midnight is right there as well. Anyways, I'll see y'all next time. That's enough ranting. Bye-bye.